Emilia, welcome to Tech Trends.
Thank you so much, CFE, for having me.
Can you share with us your opinion of the startup ecosystem today?
I'm glad you used startup ecosystem and not tech ecosystem. I would say it's stagnating. Difficult to give you empirical evidence, but you would find that an industry or a sector, an ecosystem that is not growing, that has not disrupted any new sectors in a while, that you haven't seen significance in the growth and sustainability of even some of its biggest ideas cannot be growing. So that's why I would say that the startup ecosystem is stagnating.
But every time we hear stories of ideas and solutions that are raising money locally and internationally.
Okay, so first, I mean, you know, intergenerational debates and dialogues would often throw up this belief that there's nothing new under the sun. And to a great extent, it's true. So when you say new ideas, I'm not sure how new these ideas are. Most of them are African versions of very successful global ideas. So you would hear a brand being called, and I hate to name names, maybe like a pay stack being called Strap for Africa, for instance. And those have perhaps owned the fact that yes, it's not a new idea under the sun, but we've been able to adapt it to the African context, and it has worked so far. So I'm not sure that there are new ideas in the ecosystem. I worry that we have a proliferation of similar ideas, all trying to get funding from dwindling sources. And then those who have received funding just go around that circle of pitching. They don't scale. So you find they remain startups for over 5 years when they should, by all standards and indices, be growth companies. So that would be my concern about the ecosystem. Otherwise, I think it's very active, a lot of activities, but we need to be careful about movement without activity without movement.
It is one thing to build a good solution. What are some of the ways to get the word out there easily?
The challenge that startups face, I would say, would be trying to get everybody into their head. And it's not strange to visionaries. So I have this great idea. I want you to see it the way I see it. And to me, it's a great idea. It's a new idea. It's the best thing since sliced bread, right? But the truth is, most times it would help for these startups to run these ideas by a communications professional who would hear them say something and perceive or understand another thing. And that way, together, side by side, they can sit and tell the story of the brand in a way that everybody can understand it. The biggest challenge that the ecosystem faces, whether the startup ecosystem or the tech ecosystem, whichever way you want to look at it, is the fact that when these ideas within that silo, you know, for those who understand the metrics, the professional jargons, it makes a lot of sense. Outside of it, it doesn't make much sense to the average person. And another thing is we often build ideas based on stagnating digital penetration. So when people talk about, you know, the tech ecosystem, I ask how many people can use this solution as it is? How many? Outside of the big cities in Nigeria, how many people? Getting word out has in time past been misunderstood. What exactly is getting word out? I would say getting word out is communicating the essence of the brand, and that's content, or that's how we define content. So what I have noticed before I mention the 3 tools is that a lot of startups really just think that it's about shouting. And because there's also a school of thought that says the loudest person shapes the conversation. I don't believe that as a communication professional. I certainly don't. But you find that a lot of startups just keep pushing things out on social media. But social media perhaps only offers you the opportunity to reach your would-be clients, depending on the solution that you're offering. So 3 tools will be, first, before you even identify the tools, would be to do a map of your stakeholders. Who are the people that you need to speak to? Partners, funders or investors, clients, and service providers, for instance. So the particular audience or group of stakeholders that you're trying to reach at the point in time will determine the tools that you use. So for instance, if you're trying to reach investors, you're trying to reach corporations to buy into your idea or your solution, there's a totally different way to go about that. Those people you have to meet at investor pitches, at roundtable meetings, you have to schedule appointments to go and share, you have to network through industry events.